Now, to me, at least in my opinion, when I look at the Star Wars sequel trilogy, I think that one of the most mysterious characters has got to be Supreme Leader Snoke himself, portrayed by Andy Serkis. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really interested in when it comes to this movie is, of course, all of the different twists and turns and revelations, as well as surprises coming our way by writer and director J.J. Abrams and crew, and exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to change our view on the entire sequel trilogy, that of course being The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with a major hint and or indicator of Supreme Leader Snoke being alive and well in Episode 9. Specifically, a description of both Kylo Ren and Rey fighting in a lightsaber duel on a jungle world. It's described as a brief duel between the two in the second act of the film, while the Knights of Ren invade a Resistance base. It's described that as Rey is using the Force against Kylo, she begins to hear a voice, the same exact voice she heard on Starkiller, telling her to kill Kylo Ren. That voice ended up being Supreme Leader Snoke in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. The next goes over Rey appearing to be in a stage of rage, fighting Kylo with all her might, while the sequence is described as a familiar voice encourages Rey's darkness. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this and exactly why this is a major hint of Snoke being alive in Episode 9. Now, as I have always stated before in the past, one of the big hints that I do believe are present in The Last Jedi is, of course, something that lies directly in the ending of the movie, where we do see that the Force bond is still active between both Rey and Kylo, and the fact that there will be more Force bond sequences in Episode 9. Now, additionally, if you guys read the Force Awakens novelization, you will learn that Rey was actually being guided by a voice to kill Kylo Ren. In fact, the voice was telling Rey to kill him, and we learn later on in different forms of canon that that indeed ended up being Supreme Leader Snoke reaching out and talking to Rey. The same exact voice apparently applies here, where Rey is actually going up against Kylo Ren on this mysterious jungle world, using the Force against him in a stage of rage, where she begins to hear a voice, a familiar voice that's basically guiding her to using the dark side itself, kind of giving us a nice parallel to what we got in Return of the Jedi between both Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. So this voice that's reaching out to Rey and encouraging her darkness within herself most definitely has to be the character of Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, there's a lot of people wondering that maybe this new villain in Episode 9 could very well be the real Supreme Leader Snoke, if you will, the one that is either codenamed or actually named Avril. Now, the thing that we do know about this movie is that it's going to have a lot of twists and turns that will have major implications not only on the Skywalker saga, but also on the sequel trilogy, meaning, of course, that once this movie arrives, we're going to look at The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens in a completely different way. It's going to change our entire view of those two movies, and that's really saying something, right? That really does speak volumes of what JJ is really trying to do with this movie and exactly what he's trying to push for. It's very ambitious of him to try to do something on that level. So the thing that I do want to go over is exactly, if Snoke is indeed alive, exactly what kind of purpose would he serve in this movie? Now, we've gone over a lot of descriptions of flashbacks and visions of Supreme Leader Snoke being involved in the film, as well as some revelations involving the character that we will be learning in Episode 9, as well in the Age of Resistance comic line, when it comes to the whole entire issue dedicated to Snoke himself. So the thing that I do like about Snoke so much is that we do know that JJ, Rian Johnson, and others know the entire backstory, even, of course, Andy Serkis, know the entire backstory of Snoke, and they kept it a big secret for a very specific reason. They said that we will eventually, either find out in the future in a movie and or a trilogy. Now, a movie could very well be Star Wars Episode 9, right? And for all we know, Snoke could very well be a whole lot more powerful than we already know. And I think with JJ, and since JJ loves to do these major twists and turns in a lot of projects that he has worked on, one great big project that he has worked on, by the way, was Westworld. That TV show has pretty mind-blowing twists, let me tell you. I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but you can get an idea of, what JJ actually pretty much, tries to put in his stories and tries to pretty much, give some advice to some of the creators of what to do on some of the projects that he was connected to. So with Supreme Leader Snoke having some sort of involvement in this film, giving us a different perspective on The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, I think is honestly very ambitious. It's really goal-driven of J.J. Abrams to do something at that level. Now, this whole entire saber duel, in case you guys did not know, there will be 2 saber duels between both Kylo Ren and Rey. A very small one in the middle of the film, and a major one at the end of the movie that will also include the new villain in the film. Could this very well be the real version of Supreme Leader Snoke for all we know? That's a huge question open on the table for discussion. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to moon.